Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paper with Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm going to be working on another layout for my March Madness series, which entails both 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life and Calvin Ball with scraphappy.org. So, I have a little bit of a frog in my throat, so hopefully that doesn't last the whole video. That will be very annoying for both of us. Okay, so I thought we would start with the sketch and I could show you what I've already done off camera because I was worried my videos will start getting a little bit long as we get closer to mid-March and Calvin Ball, the Calvin Ball list grows and grows. So I also wanted to do a cut file for this one. Cut files take a long time to put the backing on, etc., right? So here's what I have so far. The sketch, again, is hard to see. My printer does not print these ones that are, I think, like hand-drawn very well. So here we have, excuse me, a sketch by Melinda Barkman. And she does this little bee theme on her sketch, which is so cute. So there's hexagons, what looks like a hexagon cut file in back behind there. There's a 4x6 photo up here and a little bit of a spot to embellish here. And then down the side here is a spot for a title and then maybe some like edged or torn paper on the side. There's a big embellishment spot here and then a journaling card down here. Now I have two photos for mine, so mine's going to look a little bit different, but we're going to roll with it. Okay, so let me just take a drink of water, see if that makes a big difference. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, so what I've done so far is I had this, okay, so I grabbed this little, you can't even call it a collection kit anymore because basically I think it started out as this photo play paper collection kit, but as the paper got less and less, I started adding paper to it. So there's like the other paper in here is not photo play. There's some Echo Park, there's some Bo Bunny, there's some, I don't know, stuff. And then the scraps, and then there's like other die cut packs as well. So there's like simple stories, and I think this one's Echo Park. And then there's some chipboard pieces. So like just a bunch of different stuff. Here's the one that was actually from the photo play. And so I've gone through it all and picked out what I wanted, and it's just sitting to my left so that we didn't have to do that on camera because I thought that might be a little bit annoying. And then, so I backed my cut file with those scraps that were in there because I thought, why cut into a 12 by 12 paper when I have all these lovely scraps? Then I put my layout onto this, you can't really see it on camera, but it's embossed cardstock, this white embossed cardstock, and it's embossed with like falling leaves. So it's actually really pretty in person, but it's hard to see on camera. So there's that. And then I was like, I didn't like the way it ended at the edges. So I backed it onto this patterned paper. It's actually a wood grain paper, but it's hard to see again on camera because it's really dark wood grain. But there you can see the edging. But it's from Craft Consortium, I think, and it's in a paper pad. So I love my wood grains. When I see a good wood grain paper pad, I always buy it because I like to use them for backgrounds. I'm just gonna glue that corner down. It keeps popping up at me. So I did that. Backed my cut file with those photo play paper scraps, and then decided when I laid it down, I didn't want it just in the center like that. I liked Melinda's idea here of just having the hexagons kind of off to the side and up in the corner. So I did that. I put that on here and then I trimmed off the sides. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to put a little embellishment here. So I just took the hexagons that I cut off up here and put them down in the corner. So that's how I used that cut file. Then I wanted to put on a few of the other things that I knew I wanted. So like before gluing down my cut file, I wanted to do stenciling. So I got this stencil from Vicki Bouton's Color Study. and it's like a polka dot stencil. So I got that here, here, and here. Then I grabbed the Spectrum Gardenia film strip frames from 49 Market, and I got one film strip down here, and then I put a frame up here. And then I grabbed some wood grain washi tape from Simple Stories that was in my fall, with my fall stuff, and I put a strip down here and a strip up here. Then I took my stitching stamp from Close to My Heart called Simple Stitches. This is a really old one, and I thought this one was too big, so I grabbed a different one off of that same set, and I stamped that along the washi that I put down. So that is about as far as I got in terms of getting a start on my layout so that you don't have to watch me do all the things and it'll take forever and ever. Okay, because it's going to be long enough. I just know. So then I have these two photos. This one I already put fun foam on the back because I know I'm going to want it popped up. And it's going to go there. And this one's for my granddaughter's baby album, and it is her first trip to the apple orchard. And so I had two photos down here originally, and then realized I had already scrapbooked one of them, so I took it out because I have another layout that I did about her and her little friend that was there with her that day. And so that one was done. So I took that one out and then replaced it with this cut apart card so that I didn't have to change what I was wanting to do with my design. So there we go. And I just put this one that says, I love autumn. And I think that'll be really cute. So I want to get those down. And I got a tag from the Photo Play, what's that called? Like die cut pack. And I grabbed the tag that I wanted. Now it said give thanks. So I covered that up with some adhesive foam because I'm going to put my journaling block on there. Now, what can I tell you about my journaling block? Well, Calvin Ball. So Calvin Ball today is doing something special. Alice is changing up the rules. And we can talk about that while I'm working a little bit, but today is no double dipping day. So basically, if I count this as a stencil, I can't count it as a polka dot, which is why I put it in more than one. Well, it's not why. Design-wise, I wanted it in 3 spots, but if I have it here, I can say this one's the stencil point and this one's the polka dot point. Does that make sense? So if, for example, the theme was wood grain, and I had a wood grain washi, I can't get that for 2 points. I can count it as washi or wood grain, but I have washi here and wood grain here. Does that make sense? So I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but that's what's happening with Calvin Ball today. And so I went ahead and did up my journaling. And then to get my rub-on point, I used the rub-ons from this little baby. It used to be baby stuff, but now all I have left is the alpha. And I'm almost finished with that, I think, because I struggled with it today. So for example, I don't know, you have to look closely now because I fixed it, but Orchards, ORCHQ upside down JDS is how I spelt that. And then I covered up the bottom of the Q and the dot of the J with some white gel pen. And then Innisfil, sorry. There's a place near me called Innisfail, but this one is Innisfil. That is by where my son lives. And the ON, I was out of ends, so I had to turn a Z sideways. So I think I might be almost finished with that. Anyways, I got the point for rub-ons on Avalon Orchards, and then I got the point for typed font with the town name. So I made sure I had 2 separate so that I could count it for both points. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's where I got that from. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then I went out of my comfort zone a little bit because I have this tool that I keep wanting to learn how to use that I got on Etsy. And it's called the Bow Easy. Make mini bows with ease, and it makes 7 different sizes. So anyways, I went and found a tutorial and I tied myself a bow out of the ribbon that was in with this, I don't know, what do you call this? Like a collection kit. It's not a collection anymore, but the kit, my homemade fall kit. Okay, let's call it that, homemade fall kit. So I took one of these ribbons because that's on the Calvin Ball list. And I tied a bow with it using the tutorial from that Bow Easy. So I did that already. And what else? I also, okay, I think that's pretty much as far as I got in terms of design. I want to put my photos down, so let's do that maybe first. This one, I just put fun foam on here so that I just have to take it off the back. But then I think I'm going to want this kind of tucked under. So I'll do that first. Maybe I'll put some adhesive on here so that I can do them at the same time. And I'm just going to put them in this little frame. I also got a little paper clip on there. It's an apple. Isn't that cute? So fun. And I did put an eyelet in my tag and then strung some baker's twine in there as well. There we go. Why does that not look straight on the camera? It looks straight from where I'm sitting. This is the problem with, maybe I have to stand up. Or I'll just turn my page. Now I did it. Okay. Maybe I'll stick it to this first. There. Goes this way. And there we go. That's better. Okay. So, and then there's adhesive foam here because I knew I wanted to cover up that. It's like a Thanksgiving theme, this tag. So this is not Thanksgiving. It was just a day at the apple orchard. So I'm going to cover that up with my journaling. I don't know if I'm going to add adhesive to that or not. We'll see. Okay. And then I want my journaling card down here. I think I want this one lower. I kind of want it to just sit in this little spot with, oh, you know what else I forgot to tell you guys? I also did splattering. Do you see it? It's hard to tell on camera. I can see it in person, but it's light. It's yellow. So it's kind of hard to see, but I put it in all the same places that my stenciling is. And I really like the way it came out because it's like, it's one of those colors that I don't use because it says gold on it, but it looks yellow to me. And so instead of just looking for yellow things to use it on, what do? No. Maybe I want to go this way. I actually like that better. Okay, we're going to do it like that. So I don't use it very often, but I really like how it looks on here. It's the same kind of yellow, dark yellow color that my paper, like the matting, the paper that I matted these photos in, same color. So I like that. And let's see what else. Okay. So embellishment wise, I have some things. So I think first I need a title, right? I don't have a title on here yet. So photos, title, journaling. We'll have to get the date on here too. Okay, and then we can embellish. So I wanted to call my layout bushels of fun, and I thought I'll write that down so that I don't have trouble with the spelling like I did the other day. That was so embarrassing. And my first word is going to come out in this font, which is kind of like a burlap, which I thought was a fun fall pattern, I guess. Oh, look, my H fell off for me. Bushels. These chipboard letters, boy, I tell you, hey, they're kind of annoying. Okay, so bushels, that's my first one. So while I'm getting this on here, I'm just going to grab a T-square ruler and line it up properly. And my white glue, of course, and get that stuck down. And while I'm doing that, let's talk a little bit about 30 Days of Sketches. So if you haven't checked it out already, you really should. Christy's Beautiful Life here on YouTube, she does a series a few times a year, actually, called 30 Days of Sketches. And it started out where she would just like find sketches that she really liked and she would share them with people and then ask other people to share their take on them. And then some people were not happy that she was using like just random sketches off the internet. So now she has all of these wonderful contributors who give their sketches not necessarily exclusively, but specifically for 30 Days of Sketches. So they might also share them in their own Facebook group or something like that, but they are given to Christy to post for 30 Days of Sketches. And she doesn't only get sketches from professional sketch designers, she gets them from like all kinds of people. That's why some of them are like pencil drawn and they don't, for whatever reason, my printer does not print those well, but yeah, so it's kind of cool. So you can go in there and she has, if you go into her Facebook group, I think there's questions and stuff you have to answer to prove you're a scrapbooker and not just like a troll or whatever. And once you're in there, this is series 17. So all 17 albums of 30 sketches are in there. So lots of sketch inspiration. And then if you go into the comment of that sketch, you'll see everybody who contributes their design. It will share in the comment section of each photo of the sketch. That's where people are putting their layouts and showing how they interpreted the sketch, which is really, I love it. I think it's really fun. And I love starting with a sketch, so it's right up my alley. And then, so there's also, so that link is in the description box of this video. And then you can also click on the playlist where everybody who's creating YouTube videos relevant to 30 Days of Sketches, Series 17, we're all contributing to the same playlist on Christy's channel. So if you find somebody you really like, you can of course go to their channel and just watch their videos, or you can, I like to just hit play and let it play in the background while I'm working on layouts and stuff, because I love that feeling of like listening to other people talk about scrapbooking while I'm scrapbooking. It reminds me of being like at a crop or whatever. So, and it keeps me, so that it keeps me like in the scrapbooking mode, I guess, because that's what's in the background. And then each day is a new sketch creator. So if that sketch creator has linked their social media when they shared their sketch, then we'll also link their social media in the video description. But this time, Melinda Barkman, she did not link her socials. So I just am saying her name so that we all know that that beautiful sketch came from her. So I'm using 3 different fonts. The first one is a chipboard thickers set that looks like burlap. The second one is a puffy thickers set that I think was from a Jen Hadfield collection at some point. And then this one is an old one from, I think it was Paige Evans or something. But all from American Crafts. So I'm not sure if I like this where I have it, so I might move it over. I might want it all in the white area, like the blue part. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so it's gonna go over here. So again, I'm gonna get out my white glue and my ruler, my handy dandy ruler, and measure it all out. This time I'm gonna use some tweezers because this is very tiny. Okay, now what can I tell you about Calvin Ball? So Calvin Ball used to be run by a different group. Get It Scrapped, I think was the name, but it was a similar idea, like a membership group where people go online, you pay a fee, and then you're part of this group and you get to participate in all of the things that the group puts on. So crops and classes and sharing and all kinds of stuff. So that one closed, and when it closed, Debbie Hodge was the owner, and she asked Alice, who's the owner of scraphappy.org, if she would continue on the tradition of Calvin Ball because it was very loved by a lot of people. So Alice was like, yeah, sure. So when she started asking questions of the people who were familiar with the game, she found that a lot of people were counting up their points differently. And so she decided to put together like a set of like rules of like, this is how we count points. And one of the things that people were telling her different things was what I was talking about, the double dipping. So if I counted this stenciling as polka dots and as stenciling, that's 2 points for the same thing. Whereas some people were saying, no, it's either stenciling or it's polka dots. You can't count both points. So instead of saying it can only be one way or the other, she said, for the majority of everything, we're going to do double dipping is going to be allowed. And for 1 or 2 days in the month, we're going to have no double dipping days so that we're honoring both sides of that, the way that people see that rule. And so that's why we have these no double dipping days. So it's going to be, that's today. This paper, for some reason, is popping up and it's driving me crazy. So like the white cardstock is popping up off of the brown background. I might have to, I don't know. I'll fix that later. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay. So we got a title. We have some journaling with a location, which is important to me. Now we need a date. So I did a thing and I took all these little pieces that I had already pulled out that I know I want to go on my layout, and I ran them through my little Xyron. Somebody said the other day that these are discontinued, and I hope that's not true because I love this thing. I use it often. So I'll be really sad when the day comes that I can no longer get the, what do you call those? Refills. So now, where do I want this to go? Kind of thinking like under here. Except it's really sticky, apparently. Does not want to slide up there. Okay, so I got my date on there. So now I have photos, journaling, title, date. Okay, now we can embellish, right? So we are going to use our Calvin Ball list. So Calvin Ball, you just play along. You go to the scraphappy.org, which is linked below, and you sign up for the free events. Sign up for Calvin Ball. There's a thing there that you can sign up. And then once you're signed up, you get emails and stuff. Like I had an email telling me that it's no double dipping day. And you get access to the Circle Gallery where we share our layouts with the scraphappy.org group. And that's where you'll find all of in the gallery, you'll find the rules pinned to the top of the gallery. So I print off my rules because I can't look at my screen while I'm doing this. So I do it the hard way. But most people would just use their phone or their computer or whatever to look and see where they can count up some points. So I'm going to grab my little notepad. I also was going to mention that I distressed my edges today in this walnut stain distress ink. Tuck that back up there. So grab my pencil. Okay. Day 13. And so basically what it is like if you've ever played along with a challenge where you like take 5 or whatever, it's like that, but every day new things are added and things are taken away. So nothing gets removed from the permanent bonus points list, but things get removed from the temporary bonus points list. So this list is always changing. This one just keeps getting added to. So this is an add and subtract list. This is just an add list. Okay. So let's get started. The first thing on here is a star. Now, I do not have a star on any of the things that came with the collection, but I did grab these Altenew enamel dots called Warm and Cozy. And I thought I could probably just take, oops, good where that went. Probably just take one of these little stars off of this enamel dot. Where's my tweezers? Because they're pretty tiny. But I feel like this is the right color. And I thought I can just put that right onto my journaling spot. So there we have it. We have a star. Just going to tuck those away. And we have our first point, star. Okay. The second point says include journaling of 100 plus words. No, I do not have 100 plus words. That will not be a point for me today. Typewriter font, we kind of talked about when we were putting the journaling on. Label, I have a label down here where I stamped my date. So label. Selfie, no. Date, yeah, we just said the date is here. Washi tape, yes. We have that wood grain washi on here. Finish a project from before March, no. Ribbon. Okay, so here's the thing. If I count this as a bow, I can't count it as ribbon. So I have this leftover ribbon because I'm still learning how to use this thing. This was the piece that I cut off the end. And I thought maybe I could use it in a second place. So let's see where else I could put this. Maybe I can tuck it under here. Yeah. Okay. And we will. So I'm just going to cut it into a little V shape. And then I'm going to staple it to my label piece. So I'm going to lift the label up. Okay, if you've been on my channel for a while, you might know that this is a drinking game. We get our water out to stay hydrated. You can drink whatever you want. Just trying to, help with your health. Stay hydrated. And get your water out. And every time I lift something up, you should take a drink because I do it a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to staple this on here with my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz. Hi, Alana. Happy Thursday. I know, I love the Alt New enamel dots. They're my fave. It's hard to find them around here though. Okay. So stick that back up under there and stick it back down. Okay. So now I can count this piece as my ribbon. All right, what else we got? Stitching. So yes, I'm going to count this stitching stamp as stitching. Okay. What else do we have? Frame. Yep, we have this. It was from the frames and film strips from 49 and Market. A paper clip. Yeah, we have this cute little apple paper clip. I love it. It's so cute. Enamel dots. Yes, I have those. I'm going to put them on at the end. And hearts. So I have a bunch of these like leftover stickers. So this one's actually from the photo play collection that I was pulling from. But this one is an old one from Simple Stories called Cozy Days from 2020. And I have some hearts on here. So I thought I could just grab one off of here. Oh, my journaling card is also a heart, but look at that. I can put, since I'm counting this as a journaling card, I'm also going to put a heart on here. Okay, so heart. And then what else we got? Doily. Okay, so over on Ginger's Corner, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. We have doilies, we have swaps, and one of the things we sometimes swap is doilies. And this is one of the doilies from one of my swaps. It looks like somebody die cut it out. So I don't know if that's from a metal die or a Cricut machine, but I got it from a trade and I quite love it. So I'm just going to tuck it, I think, under here. So I'm just going to add some glue to the spots where it's kind of got some substance. Now, here's another thing with Calvin Ball. This is a lace. I would consider this a lace pattern, but because I'm using it as a doily, it's not going to get counted as lace, right? So, okay, again, lifting things up, have a drink of water. There we go. There's my doily. What else? I did put that back on. I was just making sure I put the lid on my glue. Polka dots. Yes. Counting polka dots. Use a stencil. Okay, so I'm counting this one as my polka dots, counting this one as my stenciling. Camera. I do not have a camera. Where can I find a camera? Interesting, interesting. I have this yellow camera, but it's a very bright yellow. It does not match with my layout at all. What else do I have? You know what? I could probably grab a wood grain, or not wood grain, wood veneer camera. Can go down, I don't know, around here somewhere. Maybe we'll put it there. Okay, so we have a camera. Handwriting. Okay, so I counted this as my date, so it doesn't count as handwriting. So let me see. I could put, I bet you one of these stickers has handwriting. Where did they go? Not these ones. Well, maybe, no, these ones are all normal. I had here we go. So I have these loose, random autumn themed sticker strips or whatever. And this one says, I love autumn, just like it says here, but it's in handwriting. So let's take that one, ink up the edges, add a little bit of glue maybe. Well, maybe I'll add glue later. Let's do this first. Okay, so if I put it right up here where my paper clip is, be part of that cluster. There we go. Okay, so we got handwriting. Arrow, I punched an arrow from one of my scraps and stuck it on here. Figured that could go pretty much anywhere. There we go. Arrow, point, word strip sticker. So now we counted this one as handwriting. So if we want to count a word strip sticker, we have to pick a different one. And we could put always be thankful for each other. There we go. Now we have a word strip sticker and a film strip. So I counted this one as a frame. This one's going to be film strip. Okay. Hexagons. Yes, we definitely have hexagons. Plaid. So there's a plaid pattern in this hexagon up here. Circle. Okay. So I have this circle piece that says the apple orchard. So we're going to put this on here somewhere. I actually think it should go here. And maybe my heart can go somewhere else. So now we have a circle. Birthday, no. Tag. Yeah, we have a tag back there. Stripes. We have stripes here. Twine. We have twine on our tag. Watercolor, no. Rub-ons, yes. So we counted typewriter font for one, rub-ons for the second line. Monochromatic, no. Grid. I think this looks like a grid. We can go with that. Grid. Staple. Oh, I stapled my little ribbon on. Cut file. Yep, that red hexagon piece is a cut file. Ombre, no. Splatter. Yep, I showed you my little, what they call gold splatters, but I call them yellow. Avocado. You won't believe this, you guys. One of the avocados that my friend Ruth sent me is picking fruit. What? I know. Isn't it funny? I love it so much. So we are putting this avocado right onto our layout. Maybe I should put it somewhere else. I feel like green on green is weird. Maybe, how many things can I put in this spot here? Right? Like, that's the third thing I've decided needs to go there. Okay. So we have our little avocado for the avocado point. And next is white pen. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can. Around my photo, I drew in white pen because it seemed kind of to like ground that photo, just because that plaid is so busy. And then just to be similar, I did the same around these two. So there's white pen on there. Goodness sakes. Okay. White pen, a sloth. Well, how's this cute little sloth? Isn't that cute? Sitting just like she is. I feel like he can go on here. Hi, sloth. Maybe I want him over here. A little bit under my letter. Okay, here she goes. Lift it up. Tuck underneath. There we go. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I don't know if I'm going to keep that camera. I'm not loving it. You know what? There's a camera on here. Let's get rid of this camera. Don't love it. Love it. There we go. Okay, now we got our sloth point. What else do we need on here? A pickle. I did not find a pickle. A memorabilia. No. Flower. Well, there's lots of flowers in on here. So I feel like we can pick one off of their sticker sheet.